Two unqualified morons playing tabletop. This is the Gateway Gamers podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Gateway Gamers. I'm your host, Brian, joined as always by RP.
Hello!
And this is season 3.
4.
Why is it season 4?
Season 3 was Blockbuster Summer.
I guess we'll count that, yeah.
Yeah,
season
4.
Fireworks. For those of you who are just joining us for the new season, this is a podcast where a veteran, like I, introduced the world of board gaming to my friend RP.
To a moderate
Yes,
fan,
I can't call you a novice.
Not a noob anymore or a novice. I've spent hundreds of dollars on board games at this point, and I've co-hosted plenty of episodes, so I'm no longer a noob. I am a medium.
A modest
moderate,
game player.
a modest, yes. Gets too wordy, I'm done, but you could show me how to play, I'm down.
Yep,
And
new intro. And we started this to purge my collection, and to date I have added 32 new games, and have purged 2.
holy cow, that's almost as many episodes as we've had. The whole point of this was to get rid of your games and play them and see if they were worth keeping anymore, and showing me the ropes, and you've just added.
I've added
That's
more.
insane.
I purged 2. One of them to you. One of them to the trash.
I've had a couple that you've given me
As I purged.
that we haven't played. Other ones that we haven't played, like miscellaneous. Like I think you gave me like Codenames Harry Potter stuff that we wouldn't cover on here.
I purged more than I thought. Then I bought two new games today, so it's like just adding to the list. To be fair, a Barnes and Noble gift card, and what am I going to buy? Books.
No, books.
But welcome. Anything new with you, bud?
It's really, really busy. Kind of the grind. Football season's back.
Yeah.
So that's fun for me. But not really. I've just started playing Horizons Forbidden Dawn.
Dawn, I think's the first one. Yeah.
That was a recommendation for you. I'm looking for a new
For
game.
me and some of the listeners, I put
Yeah.
the poll up, and Horizon Dawn was a bunch of them, actually.
I actually missed the results that you put on Gateway because I knew you shared my post. Because I was just looking for something new. I have the Lego Star Wars, and I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, but that's fun to play here and there. But I want something that'll like kind of keep me, because there's no TV shows I'm watching right now that I'm like, that I can binge or spend a lot of time doing, and there's no new video games coming out for a little bit for PlayStation that I really want to play. Gotham Knights is coming out, but I'm not going to buy that right away.
Yeah, that's not a day one.
And I enjoy the first God of War a lot. I'm not a huge fan, so that's also not going to be a day one for me. So really, until Christmas, I need some games to play aside from my sports games. And you had recommended this to me before, and I was like, oh, okay. This time around, I pulled the trigger, and I started playing it the other day, and a game is good if I'm playing the side missions early in the game, and that's what I'm currently doing. I really like it. I didn't think I would, but I thought it would be worth a try, because sometimes some of that mixing of the futuristic element of the machines with like the kind of warrior mentality, how she's a hunter warrior. Yeah. Typically, I don't really get into that, but I think this is fantastic, and I think it's so cool.
Yeah, so Horizon's Dawn Zero. I'm pretty sure
it's
Zero
what the
Dawn.
I think it's Zero
called.
Dawn.
Yeah. You're just playing as, what's her name, like Aloy, and it's the future, like a dystopian future where these robot machines are just kind of like the new animals of the world. Yeah. So it's like these metal horses and like dinosaur type creatures, and the whole point of the game is you're discovering kind of what happened, because you find a piece of technology, and it really builds. I don't even want to ruin anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was going to just stop you because I am very invested. Again, sometimes I play these games and I'm like, I don't really care. I enjoyed the combat, but I'm very much invested to find out a little bit more about why they're banished and kind of see the game unfold. I've played it for an hour and almost 2. And it's got its hooks in me that early. So I'm very excited.
The gameplay and the story's fantastic.
And the awesome part about it is if I really like it, the sequel is already out, and it's a PlayStation 5 game, like a game built for the PS5. So I haven't had too many games that were built for the PS5 that I've played. I played Miles Morales at launch, which was built for the PS5, and then I've played other games that are just available on both that don't really feel
exclusive
or really utilizing the higher graphics and stuff like that. So I'm already looking forward to getting the next game. When it takes me 3 or 4 months to beat this game. I know it's going to take me a while, and I like that.
Yeah. It definitely will take you. It took me a while when I play.
Yeah.
Video
you play
games almost
a
daily,
lot more than I do. And I'm not like it depends on the game. Like Spider-Man, I was get 100%. At one point in time when I was playing Assassin's Creed, I was, and then those games just got crazy big, and I'm like, that's
you
done.
won't get 100% in this. You have to find like watches and stuff in fields.
I will not do that, but I will play probably all the side missions and stuff like that. And it's just keeping me busy, and I really like that, and it helps me shut my brain off because it's just been really, really crazy. So getting to relax, because there is a component of me where I'm like, oh, I'd love to play a board game. But I don't really feel like getting off the couch.
Yep.
And I forced myself on Friday. Me and the wife actually had a free night before I went. I spent the weekend in Pittsburgh to go see the Steelers lose. And I was like, let's play Dice Throne. I bought the box, as we've talked about in here, and I haven't really played it. And I did spend a lot of money.
This is the Marvel edition?
Yeah, the Marvel edition, because I bought it. It's a game that she really likes. And I just been lazy. And so I forced myself to actually get up and play. But aside from that, I wasn't looking for another video game, too. Could kind of just relax because I haven't had much time. So from that standpoint, I really haven't, since Blockbuster Summers ended, I really haven't gamed that much. We haven't really seen each other either. So it's just been crazy, busy. Yeah. But end of tangent. I'm done. But that's what I'm doing.
I'm in the same boat. I'm a teacher, so school started back up. The beginning of the year is always the craziest part, just kind of getting the new kids in, making sure I have everything together. Back to school nights tomorrow, so it's like I have to talk to all these new parents, which is the worst part of being a teacher. Yes. Yeah. So I haven't got much gaming in either, honestly. Like I haven't gotten together with my group. Solo, as you said, I'm not in the mood to kind of pull a game out. I'm playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which you played before.
Yes, that game took me a while. I really loved that game. But there was a glitch when I played the game.
I remember you telling me that.
And I was emailing them every day for like about 3 to 5 weeks. And then one day I just logged on and it was fixed.
Yeah, you just couldn't beat the mission, the story couldn't progress.
Yeah, I beat the mission, but it didn't
update the map or anything.
It didn't show that I had beat it. So I couldn't do the final mission. And that was very frustrating. Yeah. But, however, a very good game. And the first Assassin's Creed that I skipped the one... I didn't beat Origins, and I skipped the Roman Empire one, or the one before that. The one you played.
Yeah.
And then I went back to Valhalla, because that was a PS5 game that utilized some of the PS5 functions.
Okay.
But it's a good game, and you said you're enjoying it?
Yeah, I've played... I think I played the first Assassin's Creed forever ago for like Xbox, the first Xbox.
The first one was okay.
I didn't like it. I don't like being forced to be stealthy, and that's what a lot of that game was.
However, I will say, not to cut you off, but the second one, I didn't beat the first one. The second one, I 100% it, and there's a lot of stupid stuff in that. That game was incredible.
Yeah. So I had no interest in them, and then whatever the new PlayStation Plus. However, they're bundling it. They get a bunch of free games.
Those weird tiers.
Yeah, so this game was part of the free bundle, and then the one before, I think, with PS Plus, was like $5. I was like, I'll try it. And I enjoyed them. Like, I don't love the game, but I enjoy just kind of run around, just kind of slaughtering people. And this one's good. Like, again, the story's whatever, but I enjoy it. However, inside the game, I found a board game. Yeah. So that's been... taking up a lot of my time. So it's some game called like Orlog, and it's just like a dice game.
So I played that game when it came out, which is 2 years ago at this point. And I had completely forgotten about that until you texted me.
I texted you outside. I was like, there's a board game in the game. The other night I was playing it, and my wife was just like, so what are you doing? I was like, I'm playing like a dice game like in the video game. She's like, what does it get you? I was like, I don't know. I was like, but it's
Nothing.
fun. It gets you nothing. You get
like persuasion points or something.
That's for there's a rhyming game.
Yes.
The dice game gets you just little pieces for the game, so you could play the game better. Like it just gets you more gods because it's like a whole.
It's very
thing.
much just one of these world building, time consuming things.
But other than that, there's no real probably trophy for PlayStation, which I'm a hunter kind of for. But I played like 3 rounds of it, and I was just like, "Are you going to play the game?" And I'm like, "I am. I'm playing the board game." So that's been kind of it. I bought, as I said, 2 games today. I got an expansion for Parks, which just came out, and then I found, I forget what it was called, Patchwork at Barnes & Noble for $12, which I heard was a decent game. So it's just add to the pile, throw it in the review pile.
And then you brought over the Ted Lasso party game for me. So
the Ted Lasso party game from Funko Games, because it was half off already. Because Funko Games just purges their games. How much did I send you? Was Fast and Furious on
$5 today.
$5. Rocketeer's like $12. Like
I overpaid. I paid $9 more for it.
Yeah, my guess is, and if you're listening and you know, I'm guessing they have a limited license agreement.
Oh, maybe.
So they just have to purge and liquidate these games. I don't. Oh, that's my only guess. Or they're just rotating in because they're also just on their Instagram putting up 30 new games that they're coming out for the holiday. So they must just rotate them out as quick as they can.
Maybe.
But enough video game talk. We are a board game podcast. Welcome to Gateway Gamers. If you've been listening to Blockbuster Summer, which is our big Blockbuster event, we have been planting the seed of the game that we're going to talk about today. We want to go back to secretly revealing games to RP as we used to do. However, besides Blockbuster Summer, this was the summer of Dice Throne. In between these IP-driven Blockbuster games we played, we have been blasting out games of Dice Throne.
This game's awesome.
I was going to wait to review, but we don't have to. It's fantastic. It really is. So there's no back of the box.
We've talked about it in our episodes about how much we enjoy it. There is a back of the box. It's different with every one.
Yeah, it doesn't give like an overall story, but the story is that
there is seasons to their releases, which I don't get. I don't know. Do other games do that?
No, I think it's just easier for them. So I'll give you some details, and I'll kind of go over what this all is. I know the story is like there is a story to the game, and it's the Mad King has sitting upon a throne and is looking for like a worthy challenger. So every year he hosts a tournament of champions with the greatest prize a hero could ever want, the throne. So that's the point of the game. It's just these different people battling it out.
Yep.
Which is cool. It's super cool. So this will be Dice Throne Rerolled Season 1, which is the first 8 characters in the game. It's called Rerolled because it was originally out, I don't even know how many years ago, and they reprinted them. Oh. They fixed the artwork, they jiggered the rules and fixed everything up.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen the original artwork or know if it played the same. I think they just kind of added some different rules and, like I said, kind of fixed some of the characters that might have been broken. So as I said, Dice Throne Season 1, there's 4 boxes. Each box comes with 2 characters, and they MSRP for about $30 each. It plays for about 20 to 40 minutes, 2 to 6 players, which I can't imagine. We haven't played with more than 2 players. This is a great head-to-head game. I imagine.
I can't see it.
I can see teams.
Yeah.
I can see like me and you versus Audra and Megan, and like
if we were sitting and there was like if you're not doing, but even I don't know.
It could work because Magic's the same way. Magic's the Garen card game.
It just would feel like a lot, and then maybe that's how you make it. You know, me and Audra played last weekend, and we played for 45 minutes of one round, just one-on-one. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're looking for, like, a good party, like, get-together gaming day, and you really want, like, a battle, this is definitely the game. Yeah. So, I guess the more... I would be very curious to see 6 people.
Yeah, I think 6 would be too much. But I could see, like, a team, either you controlling 2 characters versus another 2 characters, or, as I said, you and a friend versus another 2 friends, I think would work fine. It's designed by Nate Chantelier and Manny Tremblay, and Manny Tremblay is also credited as the artist, which is
I love
the art's fantastic. Published by Roxley Games. It's a dice rolling, re-rolling and locking, which is Yahtzee. If you don't know what that is, it's basically Yahtzee. You roll 3 times, which each roll you can put dice aside. And then take that, because there's a card mechanic element where you can use those cards and dice powers to kind of attack the other person or slow them down.
Or defend yourself.
Yep, defend yourself.
It's essentially like Yahtzee battle. It's like how I would describe it.
Yeah, I would describe it as like I said, Magic the Gathering I think is a good one with King of Tokyo.
Yep.
I think King of Tokyo,
I think that's perfect.
Yeah, with the dice and the cards, I think it's definitely one of them. Where I think King of Tokyo is a great group game. I think it's a great multiplayer game. This is a great head-to-head one versus one game.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, we've played this a lot.
A lot, yeah. As I said, there's 4 boxes in Season 1. The first box is the Barbarian versus the Moon Elf, and that's known as like the starter.
And that's
pack.
The one we played first.
Yep, that's the one I got first. And then the next box is the Monk versus the Paladin, and then Pyromancer versus Shadow Thief, and then the Treant versus the Ninja. And the Treant's the one that interested me the most.
Yeah, that was like the first one where I felt there was like a huge upgrade and difference to the game.
Yeah. So even though the mechanics are all the same, every character is wildly different.
Yes.
Like, I don't feel... Besides, like, I think 1 or 2 have a very similar effect and, like, play style, they're still very different.
Yeah, no, they all have a very individual and uniqueness component to them where you don't feel like you're playing the same game over and over. I would say that the Barbarian, I think, reminded me a lot of the Shadow...
Paladin, probably? I think Paladin and...
The Shadow Thief.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we played the Shadow Thief versus the Groot wannabe. And that... When we did that, I was like, okay, they're very much more of like a one larger attack, but mainly defense, I think.
Okay.
Where the Groot wannabe, which the Treant has a lot of moving parts with their components, I guess is what you would call them. Their abilities. All
right. So let's give an overlay or an overview of the game, and then we'll really go into depth of all the characters because they deserve like a really individualized look through. All right, so the point of the game is, as I said, each player goes head to head. Each player has 50 health, and the point of the game is to reduce that health down to 0. As I said, it's 1-on-1, card manipulation, dice. So the game is played over like a series of rounds.
Yep.
Where you start with 4 cards. You start with 2 combat points each, and as I said, 50 health. And the combat points that you attain are to play the cards in your hand. So if you start with 2 and you have a card that can upgrade one of your powers, that costs 2, you reduce your combat points or CP down to 0, you can play that card. So that's the other cool thing is your character is evolving as you're kind of playing, but that's also very luck heavy where one game you might upgrade a power. Another game, you might never see that card, but see other cards. So that's the replayability is also there.
It's through the roof.
Yeah, so as I kind of said, each round you draw a card, gain CP, you roll die. Each character's die is individualized with symbols and numbers, and you have
different colors too.
Yeah, it's all the production we'll talk about is phenomenal. But each player also has a board in front of them with their character, and then each of their powers and defense powers. So you can roll. One power might be a small straight, which is a succession of 4 dice, numerical. So you want 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom, activate that power. And then it might be a large straight, where it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then, boom, that's even more powerful power. Each person has specific, like, emblems or...
abilities.
Yeah, but their die face has
a
specific thing. So if I'm looking at the Shadow Thief, she has 2 daggers, a little bag symbol, and then like this shadowy looking symbol. So you're trying to roll those to match what your power board in front of you is, and that's kind of it. It's super simple.
So the cool part about the attacks is, yes, there's the sides where you want to get 2 daggers and 2 bags to attack, but then you can also get a small straight and a large straight, just like you're playing Yahtzee. So you just need the sequence of 4 and a sequence of 5.
Yeah,
which I think that's cool because
it's options.
It's options, and if you feel like you're screwed, well, that you can always rely on that. That's what I really like about it, is that it is all up to chance, but you don't go multiple rounds. In most cases, you do not go multiple rounds without getting at least something.
Yeah. You always kind of get something because every character has just like a basic attack, and it'll be 3 of whatever their most common symbol is, or 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So if you roll them, as we said, Yahtzee style, take my 6 dice, roll them out. I pick the symbols I want. So if I get close to a small straight, I put those aside. I roll again, hoping that I get that. That's, I think, one of the negatives that people might not enjoy is it is luck heavy because it is dice. I, however, don't care. I love, as I've talked about a billion times, a dice chucking game.
Yep.
I love luck and chance, and I feel like it's good because no matter if I play this game 100 times, and I can have a good strategy, it comes down to luck. I could play someone who's played it for the first time, and it's almost an equal playing field because it's just down to luck, and I enjoy that. And that's kind of it. It goes back and forth. When a person attacks you, each character does have a defense ability as well.
Which, based on your individual, you can roll 2 dice. You can roll 3 dice as your defense roll. Sometimes it does nothing, but to prevent it, but it can attack. Sometimes there's multiple scenarios where you roll 3 dice, and if you take the amount of tree trunks you get, you can multiply that by 2, and that's what you prevent, and you get a leaf, and then you can gain health and things of that nature. So everybody is really unique and different, and adds to that replayability and that kind of collect them all mentality that we have for this game. It's just exciting to play because you could be like, okay, well, I'm getting hammered, but even on my defense, I'm preventing half, and then I have the because say you get 2 tree trunks and then you get 1 leaf, and you block some of it, but then you also attack some, or you heal some.
Yeah.
And each character's different, and that's what I really like about the defensive role part. The ones I don't enjoy are the ones where it's like you don't do anything to defend yourself, to help yourself. And I just wanted to comment too on, yes, everybody kind of has a playing field, whether you've played this 100 times and I've only played this once. The only advantage I think there really is knowing how to incorporate some of the cards to your benefit.
Yeah, for sure.
Either making you re-roll or allowing yourself to change the dice, because some people may not, until they play
a couple times
or a full time through, realize oh I can do that, which is the benefit of having a good friend teach you this game, not somebody who just wants to beat you.
Which I do to my wife. So another positive about this game,
you do that to your wife because your wife beats you all the time.
My wife does a great job. She really does. That's a big perk to this game, is my wife really enjoyed this game because it's Yahtzee. And she understands Yahtzee. There is a lot of text and things happening, but it's not complicated. It's just like, if you have the symbol, you take 1 damage. And it's worded perfectly. And even the cards, it's like, gain 3 CP, or negate half the damage, or roll a die to do this. So it's not overly complicated, and she enjoyed it, so that was a big plus.
And my wife is the same. Some of these cards are like the Groot ripoff.
We'll talk about him. He's
very, very cool, but some of these things require a little bit more reading to get the full thing, but it's simple text. It's not very complicated, confusing, and it's something that my wife doesn't mind reading. She's like, okay, because I know that I can read this, and kind of get it right away, or just ask me and I'll walk her through it. But it's not over. Nothing about this game is overwhelming.
It's explainable in 1 sentence. If she goes, I don't understand this power, you go, oh, if you have this, you do this.
Yep.
Like, that's it. It's not.
And there was even one situation where we were playing over the weekend with, she was playing as Black Panther, and she was doing something that I wasn't even sure she was supposed to be doing, but I couldn't find any rule
against
it. And even on like Board Game Geek, I couldn't. So I was letting
allow it. Yep.
And she was doing really good.
Yeah.
She was cheating somewhat, though. I will say that.
That's fine.
But this is a fantastic game. This is a game that we played, and you said you could tell that I
immediately. Yep.
I was all in.
Yeah. So speaking of the cards and like the advantages, we didn't mention each character does have like a super attack. Mm-hmm. If you roll all 6 of like one of their symbols, which each
it's usually it's the 6.
If
you roll 6,
it's the number 6, but it's so they only have only one side of their die has that symbol, so it makes it super hard because some of them they have bullets, they might have 3 sides, so they're easier to roll. So that's where mitigation of the cards comes in handy because rolling 6 of those symbols it hasn't happened. But when I played my wife, I had a bunch of cards that could manipulate the die. So it was like if you roll a 3, you could turn to a 6. Perfect. If you roll this, add 1. Tick it up or down 1. So I rolled a 5, tick it up to the 6. And I ended up using my special against her, and she tried to call me out for cheating. I'm like, listen, this is what
this is how you play.
But I like you said, I knew how to do that. So if I was unforgiving to a new player, I could. But also, that's how you learn.
But that's how you learn, and then the next turn you'll get it. That's the only way when I played as the Moon Elf against you, and you were the Barbarian. That's the only way that I got it, was I was using the cards to switch my dice, and I attacked you, and I won.
Yeah, that's it for gameplay. I want to go through each character, try to talk about how different they are, because that's where this game shines. As I said, one negative is luck. The other big negative that I have to say about this game is once you buy one pack, you want them all.
Yeah, it's a Pokemon mentality. You got to catch them all.
As of now, there's Season 1, which has 8 characters, Season 2, which has another 8. They just came out with Marvel, which has 8 characters as well. And I just backed the Kickstarter with Santa and Krampus. So
that's awesome.
There's a lot of characters.
So I got bit by that. As playing this, the first time we played together, I was like, I need this. However, I saw the Marvel one coming out, and you could pre-order a 2-pack on Amazon. And I was like, and it was Strange and
Black Widow, I think.
Black Widow. Yeah. And I was like, or I could just get the whole chest. Yeah. So I wanted all of them. I was like, I know I'm going to love it, And I pitched it to my wife. We played. She beat me. And I said, wouldn't this be cooler with Marvel characters?
She's like, why?
And she's like, why? What did you do? And I was like, I didn't do anything yet. But, I wanted all of them. And we haven't played all of them together just because of time. But I would love to. And then mix and match them.
Yeah. So we'll go over the first box, Barbarian versus the Moon Elf. This is known as the starter set. This is the one I recommend you start with because the Barbarian is simple. He is just a straightforward, high damage, not a lot of power hero. This guy is just a machine. He goes in, he's just wrecking. All his attacks do high damage. He does have a power called Concussion, which makes the players skip their income phase, which is just they don't get CP, which is cool. It's a simple power, again, where it's one sentence. I just explained. If you get Concussion, you don't gain CP.
Yep.
The end. And then he can stun you, which is just he stops you from making an offensive roll phase. So you basically lose a turn, which is hard for him to get. It's not a very common thing. That's kind of his special. But other than that, he is just a berserker. That's literally he's a barbarian berserker. His defense is moderate. He heals instead of defending damage. He heals, which is, as you said, is good because if you do 1 damage to him, but he rolls more hearts, he will heal more than you damaged him. So that's a cool ability. It's not really negating damage. It could, but it's also he's healing up. You enjoyed the Moon Elf a lot.
Yeah. So she was heavy attack, but also a solid defense, and she has a ton of status effects. So there was so with this blind, I put it on you, and you at the end of your turn had to roll 1 dice, and you had to get either a number 1 or a number 2. And if you did, that failed. Your attack failed.
Yeah,
and so
I didn't get the attack.
You didn't get an attack. There was entanglement, which is just you lost 1 instead of having 3 rolls. You only had 2 rolls. Evasive, which is just I could spend this. This one was for me, and I rolled either a 1 or a 2, and I avoided damage from you. And targeted was just it was a negative status effect token, and it just added 2 to the incoming damage. So if I put that on you, if I attacked you for 5, you were actually getting 7 because of the +2.
Yeah.
And so she was a beast, and I beat the barbarian fairly easily.
Yeah,
as well.
She's hard to hit, and that's why it's annoying. She does good damage, but she's also hard to hit.
Very evasive, yeah.
And then her defense is a lot of damage back. It's a lot of pinging, so it's like, I attack you for 5, but you might ping me back for like 3, depending on what you roll, or more. Sometimes, it could be even more. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a good box to start with. The next one is the monk versus the paladin, which I think I've played more than you. I think we played.
I think once.
Yeah. It's a good box, but it's just not one that came out a lot. The monk is cool, where he just stacks chi, and the chi can help him defensively or offensively, which is really cool because it's a versatile way to play. If I want to be more defensive, I can. If I want to be super offensive, I can. I can save some of the tokens to do 3 damage now and save some for defense later. The paladin, he does a lot of critical damage. Like, he's just very stalwart. Like, he'll hold on to a token, and he could do more damage. Like, add 4 more damage to an already attack of 5 or something crazy. Like, he does heavy damage.
So when we played, I was the tree guy and you were the monk. So I never played as the paladin. However, some of the unique abilities the paladin has, he has a status effect token called Blessings of Divinity. And if you have that on you, it prevents you from dying. So if you were to go to 0, it would bump your health back to 1 and so give you another chance. So there's some status effect tokens that can really affect the outcome of the game that are important to have and are game changers and make them unique for each player and stuff like that. So I've actually never played either of these two, but I did play against you as the monk, and I remember you building up your chi,
Yeah, because you can stack. Normally it gives you an option on how you can stack, and I think chi you can stack 5, which is a pretty good stack, because if I do 6 damage, I could spend those 5 chi to do the 11 damage. Or, as I said, if you do 5 damage, I could just use that chi to meditate all that damage away.
So the Black Panther is kind of like the monk. He has a kinetic energy that is like the chi, and kind of the same effect.
The monk's also evasive. He's annoying to hit. He has a very similar, instead of blind, it's called evasive, where you have to roll the die. And if it's a 1 or 2, it's not doing much. He can knock you down. It costs you more. You have to pay 2 to attack or get rid of the token. So it's 2 of your combat points. And that's what's cool. They have different powers that affect different things. There's certain characters that really negate your combat point build, so it's hard for you to kind of evolve as a warrior. And then he has 1 attack, which is Cleanse, which just clears any status effect from him, positive or negative. So he was a cool character. As I said, the Paladin, though, he's as much of a tank as Barbarian, but he's also defense heavy. I would say he's more defensive than offensive, but he can do some real damage. As you said, he has the Blessing of Divinity, which can bring him back to life, which is cool. He has Accuracy, which kind of gives him undefendable attack, so you can't roll defense against it. He has a Protect token, which cuts any damage in half. For his defense roll, he does damage to the character, or he can prevent damage or gain CP, depending on what he rolls. So if you roll a sword, one of his shields, and a heart, you could do damage, block damage coming in, and gain combat points.
Yeah.
So he's another one. That's a very versatile box, I'll say, where it's just you could play offense and defense.
I just love how different they all are.
Yeah, they're wildly different. Because the next box, the Pyromancer and Shadow Thief, the Pyromancer is a glass cannon. She just attack, and has no defense. Like, she literally has to burn quick or she'll get, like, stomped out, like, really quick. Like, she's a really cool character. I don't think you played this box.
I played with the Shadow Thief.
Did you?
Yeah, because I remember the poison.
Okay, so we must have switched it up.
It was one of those ones where you brought them over.
But we didn't.
I played with different people.
Okay. Yeah, the Pyromancer, I think this might be my favorite box for my play style.
Okay.
Because the Pyromancer, as I said, is just attack, 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 attack with no defense. And then the Shadow Thief, I love, like, just poisoning and just being a pain in the ass. Like, I love, because, like, the Shadow Thief is just like, I'm going to poison your character and I'm going to be almost impossible to hit because she's super evasive. And then she has a sneak attack where it's like, she'll roll an attack die, and then she rolls one single die. Just a knife in the back. Like, it's like, I attack you, jump behind you, bam, right in the back. Like I said, the Pyromancer, her defense is, she doesn't block any damage, she has a heal, she gains Fire Mastery, which just help her attacks more. She has this ability where she can stack these 5 tokens. How many tokens you have is like, it affects your ability. So if you have 5 tokens, you can apply burn and do massive amounts of damage. If you have 1 Fire Mastery, you're doing just some extra damage. Each attack really depends on how much she has built up.
Okay.
So she wants to take damage because that's one of the main ways she could build it up. So she's one of those characters where it's like, how much damage do I want to take?
Sure.
Towards like my attack.
Okay.
Which I think it's cool. Again, like, how different is that from everyone else? We're talking about the Paladin who's just blocking damage. This chick's just like, bring it. Like, punch me in the face and let me rage. And as I said, Shadow Thief's just kind of a very tricky character.
Playing with the shadows. Everything's thematic, too.
Yeah, so she's hard to hit. She'll poison you. Poison just kind of does 1 damage.
So
each attack.
I didn't play as Shadow Thief. I played as the next 2 we're going to talk about.
I thought
the ninja has a delayed poison, so that's where I was just a little bit confused.
That's where I'll say the ninja, the Shadow Thief are very similar. I think they're the most similar characters in that they're very stealthy and they have a poison attack. They're the only 2 where I'm like, these 2 are kind of the same.
Yeah,
but the
they're
ninja,
very similar.
Yeah, the ninja I think does more damage.
Yes, she does.
The Shadow Thief. Shadow Thief's all about dodging, poisoning, and just like jab, 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 jab. All her dice are easy to, like, her main attacks are super easy to roll compared to some of the other characters, but they don't do as much damage. Where the Barbarian, to do 8 damage, you need to roll like 5 die.
Yeah.
She can do 2 damage with just like 2 die. So it's pinging damage versus like a great big swing, and that's what that character is. And the next box, as we kind of teased, is the Treant, which is
a Groot wannabe.
Yep, a giant tree monster. If you ever see Lord of the Rings, these are the big
like tree beard
characters. Yeah. Versus a ninja. As I said, this is the box where when I learned about this game, I was like, that's cool.
Yes.
Like, that's a character that just looks super cool that I'm interested in. Like a ninja, a thief, a barbarian, like, they're all been done to death. Like a Treant, like, I haven't seen like and featured really in a game. The Treant is a pain in the ass to play as.
Oh, yep.
The Treant is also good once you get the ball rolling. Unfortunately, he is a slow-growing healer.
Just like a tree. It takes a while to
grow.
To bloom and grow.
Yeah. So you want to...
Yeah, so the thing about this Treebeard is that his status effect tokens are called companions. So you essentially are growing a tree from a seedling to a sapling to a dryad. And when you have these, and a lot of these only have a stack limit of 3 and 2, so if you have a seedling, you can spend 1 to re-roll 1 of your dice. And then you can evolve to a sapling when you...
The beginning of your turn. It's you can do 1...
Yeah, at the beginning of your turn, you can grow a spirit, which means to gain a sapling, or you can upgrade a sapling to a seedling to a sapling, and a sapling to a dryad. And essentially, you're growing a tree, and each one is different. So the sapling, you can spend it to heal one and gain a combat point, or spend it to gain a combat point and draw a card. And then when you have a dryad, which you can only have one of, you spend it and it adds 3 damage as an attack modifier. And if an opponent was going to put a negative status effect on you, like the delayed poison, you could use this and at the conclusion of your offensive roll phase to prevent that status effect token coming to you. And then Barbed Vine is very basic in such that I would give it to you, and after your first roll attempt, each other one is you just get hit with 1 damage, or 2 damage if you do 3.
It's basically a type of poison, yeah. It
and then it
slows you down.
It's a poison, and it helps, and it's removed at the end of your roll phase. And then there's a Wellspring, which you heal. You roll a dice, whatever you roll, you get half of that, and you heal.
Yep.
So that's essentially him.
Yeah.
It takes a while to get going, but once you get him, you can win the game pretty easily.
Handily. Yeah,
he is the most complex character in the game, which is really cool. If on the other side of their effect tokens pamphlet, I guess you're going to call it, there's a complexity, and there's 6 die, and he is a 6. And then there's frequently asked questions as well, which I find incredibly useful as well. It explains everything that you may have about this game, and it just adds to why I enjoy it so much.
Yeah, the Tran's cool. He, as we kind of said, he takes a while to ramp up. He's the most complicated character, but only because he has a lot of options. Like, it's the basic gameplay.
Yeah.
Like, it's not anything crazy. It's just he has just little more options. His defense is cool as he blocks damage, but he can also grow spirits. So normally you can only affect one of your spirits once. Like so I like that option where it's like, do I want to grow the sapling to a dryad? Do I want to grow the seedling to a spirit? Like, or depending on your die roll, you can change them multiple times throughout the turn, or defensively, if someone attacks you, you're like, all right, let's bring it on, and you can grow more. So he's a cool character. He's definitely complicated. I have not won as him yet.
I beat Audra as him.
Okay, but
I was doing it wrong. I was doing the sapling thing wrong until halfway through.
Nah, that's fine.
But I still won.
You don't have to tell anybody.
I don't.
We can cut that out. And then the ninja, as we kind of said, is just another, like a ninja. Like, thematically, what's a ninja do? Kind of sneaks in the shadows, does attacks, poison, and that's what she does. She does it well, which is cool because on the box, as we said, the treant is a 6 complexity. She's a 2.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's literally poison, another poison thing, delayed poison, where instead of at the end of your turn, it's the beginning of their turn, I think, so they have the option to get rid of it. Smoke bomb, which is just another possible dodgy attack. Person has to roll 1 through 3. If they roll 4, 5, or 6, they miss. They can't even attack. And then she just has some little ninjutsu things depending on what the die roll is. She rolls a 1 through 3, she does 1 damage. A 4 through 5, 2 damage. And if she rolls a 6, you can do 2 damage and poison. So
this game's awesome.
Yeah.
The components, everything about the game, the art's beautiful.
Yep.
The art is so damn cool. That's probably my favorite thing about the game is the art. I love the way every character looks. I love the way every little component looks, and I love the feel of the dice, the way that they look. It's just, and the board itself. The board is just awesome, and and the way it's packaged.
Yeah, so
I just cannot say enough good things about this game.
So as I said, MSRP is around 30. You can find it for 25 if you look at certain places. But the packaging is perfect. It comes in what's a game tray company made for this game. Everything is packaged perfectly. When you open a box, everything you need is in the game tray. So you can just pull those 2 characters out, say, here's your ninja character. They pull everything out. The pamphlet, the board, the dice, they're all there.
So
like you said, if they don't understand what you flip it over, and there's frequently asked questions. Everything that you need is in here.
Yeah, and if you're one of those persons that don't enjoy the boxes, this is a perfect game where you can just put them in a plastic tub and each one. Like, they're easily storable. but it does look great on a shelf if you have the boxes.
Yeah, components are high quality, design is high quality, artwork's high quality. It's a really good quality game. It's a really good, I think, gateway game. I think this is extremely easy to teach. I think it's extremely easy to learn. This is literally one of those where you're like, let's just play around and figure it out. And that's my favorite type to play and learn and teach. And I can't say anything else. And this is just season 1.
Yeah.
I haven't played any characters for season 2. You have the Marvel edition. I have not played it yet. I'm excited to get to that eventually. I can't wait for Krampus and Santa to come in the holidays that kickstart it. And I hope there's more coming. And I can't see they're not. The possibilities are endless for this.
Yeah.
Whether it be more IP they could do, or just more cool characters, more original.
I would like to see more IP. It would be cool to have a DC one, and I could have Marvel vs. DC. But I also like what they're doing with like folklore characters or random fictional characters. Lord of the Rings would fit well with this as well.
They can go the way of what is it, Unmatched, and just take in intellectual properties that are what's that called after 100 years?
It's no longer trademarked, so it's public domain.
Public domain. They could do.
You're gonna see a Pinocchio,
a Wizard of Oz, Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, seriously.
But I think like Stranger Things would work. I think a Demogorgon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like a 2-pack Demogorgon 11. You don't even have to call them that. Make an Demogorgon type creature and a psychic kid.
Yeah,
like that's a psychic girl with nosebleed
who loves
shaved head
waffles. Yeah, no, the sky's the limit for this game. Price point's relatively low. Replayability's through the roof.
Price point is low individually. You are going to want all of it.
Yes.
So it's going to cost you a lot, but luckily you collect it over time. It's not a big buy-in right away. You could buy a box here, box there,
hit
box
up
here,
hit
box
up
there.
eBay.
Yeah.
Buy like used copies too. Save some money for yourself if you really do want them all. Yeah, man, like it's incredible,
fantastic. If you have never played it, I recommend buying the starters box.
I don't think we could recommend a game more than this. This is
gonna be tough if we do in our top 10.
Yeah,
it's gonna be hard. What could beat this?
Not much.
So
that's the Gateway stamp of approval.
So that's the end of. So that's just season 1. Look forward to season 2 eventually when I buy them all, and then we'll probably cover the Marvel edition as well.
Marvel season 2 as well. I'll buy that again.
Yeah, all the villains.
Just keep it going, man. It's the sky's the limit.
Are you listening?
Dude, Disney, whatever.
Yep. Are you listening, Nate Chantelier and Manny Tremblay? I'm gonna tag you in this. Marvel villains
for sure.
So that's kind of the end of our review. News will be a little different from here on out. We have a news reporter in the Gateway Gamer Studios. So we're going to throw it to our man out in the field. Take it away. Hey, it's Brian over at the Gateway Gamers News Studio coming at you with some news. If you've been to Target lately, you may have seen that the World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King from Z-Man Games has been half off. That's because Matt Leacock and Z-Man Games have been getting ready to announce the next game in its Pandemic system line of games, Star Wars: The Clone Wars. This game follows the Pandemic style of gaming, but instead of battling viruses, you will travel from planet to planet, quelling the Separatist army and battling droids. Players will play as 7 Jedis with unique powers. These heroes include Anakin Skywalker, Ahsoka Tano, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Mace Windu, Yoda, Ayla Secura, and Luminara Undula, whoever those people are. We haven't covered Pandemic, but it is a super fun game, so I'm looking forward to this. Matt Leacock, if you remember, did Forbidden Island, which was our first game that we ever covered on our podcast, so I'll be excited to cover this, because I don't have any Star Wars games in my collection, so this will probably be one that I'll add to the collection. In other news, the 12 finalists for the 2022 National Toy Hall of Fame have been announced. I know you guys were just as excited as we are for this announcement. The 12 nominees are the board game Catan, Lightbright, which has a resurgence with Stranger Things, Masters of the Universe, Nerf Toys, Pinatas, the card game Phase 10, Pound Puppies, the game Racco, Spirograph, the Spinning Top, and a toy called Breyer Horses. These are 12 finalists for the coveted spot in the Hall of Fame exhibit in the National Museum of Play in Rochester, New York. The 3 chosen will join last year's winners, which were the American Girl doll, the board game Risk, and Sand. Yes, you have heard it. One of last year's winners was Sand. Just boring old sand. Some previous winners were Sticks, Rocks. Pretty sure Monopoly's in there. So play is pretty general for this competition. And their announcement will be in November, so we'll give you guys a follow-up. And we'll have a giant celebration for it. And now, for probably the most exciting news that I will probably cover on this show. So anyone thinks that chess is boring, you may want to change your mind after hearing the recent controversy involving a pro player and a set of vibrating anal beads. Yes, you heard what I said. Earlier this month, 19-year-old chess grandmaster Hans Niemann managed to beat 5-time world champion player 31-year-old Magnus Carlsen. Shortly after his defeat, Carlsen mysteriously withdrew from the competition. Taking to Twitter, he wrote, "I've withdrawn from the tournament. I hope to be back in the future." And included, he had a picture of a football manager, Jose Mourinho, saying, "If I speak, I'm in big trouble." Rumors of cheating began to circulate as Hans Niemann has admitted to cheating in ranked online matches in the past. Cheating is nearly impossible in these competitions as contestants are thoroughly inspected before entering the match, which led many to somehow speculate that the only possible way to cheat is having vibrating anal beads that would somehow signal to the player what moves to make. Obviously, this rumor spread like wildfire because of its absurdity and awesomeness. To quell this drama and prove Magnus Carlsen was a champion, the two met today in a virtual setting during the Julius Baer Generation Cup. This was surely going to be a grudge match between two titans of the game, which instead resulted in Niemann moving 2 turns and Carlsen simply logging off with no explanation. This has resulted in many people to believe that the cheating, whether it be with anal beads or otherwise, is still valid, and we're waiting to hear more. The history of chess is full of petty dramas, and we are blessed to be living through this one. Well, that's all I have for you today. I'm going to throw it back to the boys. See ya. All right, that was some great information. How'd you feel?
Yeah, I loved it. I'm so excited about all that news.
Yeah, I knew. Makes me think about all that buzzing that comes from your seat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Cheater. Anyway, that's the end for this episode. Once again, thank everybody for listening. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for rating, liking, subscribing. Thank you for checking out our TeePublic store and Redbubble with our merch. If you haven't, then thank you in advance when you go there and you get some merch. We got stickers, hats, shirts, but mostly stickers. Just grab some stickers, slap them on some poles around your neighborhood. Just really
just do
make us thing. Annoying.
Yeah, do the TeePublic as well. I found that the stickers and magnets from TeePublic are a little bit better than Redbubble. So that's why I always include the link. But if the link's in the show notes, it's so easy to click. Put your credit card information in. Buy everything. Mm-hmm. Christmas is coming up in a couple months. Ho, ho, ho to all the gamers out there. Fill the stocking stuffers. You got it.
97 days till Christmas, maybe when this episode comes out.
Something like that. Yeah. It's plenty for you to buy something for the holidays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're looking for like a joke gift. If for like White Elephant, buy our shirts. I don't care.
Yeah, buy it. It helps.
White Elephant shirt.
Everything goes to helping produce this show.
That's right. But thank you again for listening. Thank you again for everything you guys do. Go out, buy Dice Throne because it's fantastic.
I couldn't agree more.
See you.
Bye.